Wishing you a happy new year this 2015. I thought I'd just touch base with you a little bit. I do miss you so much. I'm talking particularly to the Living Immortal basic class that's meeting in Silver Spring. It's a long period of time in between when we meet again, so I hope that you are practicing and that you are still growing and embellishing upon the things that we share, and I have a strong feeling that you are, knowing the progressiveness of this very special group. I just wanted to share with you some thoughts I have about the winter's new year. You know, there's a winter's new year and there's a spring new year. In the spring new year, we look at the seeds that we have available to us and planting those seeds and nourishing them and then watching them grow into fullness for our harvest. Well, in the winter's new year, we're looking at entering into the duat. That's a little bit differently. First of all, it associates with the birth of Yeshua, or the birth of Jesus in the Christian tradition, which really dates back to our Kemetic history and spiritual science of Heru, the birth of Heru, the son of Asar and Aset. And if you look at what that story is revealing, this is a story about the birth of something in humanity that aspires to live the fullness of their divinity through their physical vessel, through their creation. So it's a story of God or divinity present in humanity, in mankind. I like to say humanity because to me, mankind is a kind of humanity. It's not really it. So when we are actually expressing our divinity through our physical form, that's human, a quality of light made manifest, where mankind is actually something that's kind of like that. So anyway, that isn't really what I want to talk to you about. I wanted to talk to you about moving through the duat in the winter's new year. Okay? And so what that's about, if you can picture the story of Ra as he sails over the horizon, and he comes from the east and he goes over the planet and he sets in the west. And then his boat goes through the underworld, or something we call the duat. The underworld, the darkness, the unseen, the unliving. This is the place like unto the field of absolute infinite potential of Asar. It's triple deep dark and there's full potential there. So when you are traveling into the duat, you want to go into the duat with your intention intact. Your inner tension. Remember, the intention of the solar plexus is what draws things into its condensed form. So that which is very expanded, light form, can be condensed, can step down into the density of matter. So all of this is applicable in the idea of creation and also in manifestation. So to bring this into something meaningful for you, I'm going to just share a little story that happened to me when I first came into the Washington, D.C. area, and I worked for a band called Starpoint. And before I could work with them, I had to visit with their Orisha. Sorry about the sirens in the back. This is life passing by, as usual. But I had to go and visit with their Orisha. Orisha is a seer, and I know you know that, but she talked to me a little bit about me and my family, and then she said, you know, it was around Christmas time. She said, New Year's, everybody's going to be going out and worrying about what they're going to wear and where they're going to go and how they're going to party and all of that. What you should focus on is what you want to have bring into creation, what you want to manifest in your upcoming year. She said, and be very specific and very involved about it. And she gave me a formula. She said, start really broad. So start with a picture of the whole year and set your goals for that year. And whatever objectives in general you need to accomplish those goals. And I say goal as opposed to, I say goals in opposed to goal, plural, as opposed to singular, because I know you may have categories. You know, you may have goals for your health, goals for your relationship, goals for your business, goals for your education, goals for your family, so on and so forth. So you want to put your goals down and a few major objectives to accomplish those goals overall broad. So you might want to have like a calendar table that shows all of the months for the year in which you just write that down. Then you want to break that down into two halves. what you're going to do to set that up for the first 6 months, and how you're going to complete it in the last 6 months. And then you want to break it down even more specifically into quarters. So you're going to move from that table calendar down into a calendar that you can, again, you can use a table calendar to just break it in half, and then something a little bit more specific that gives you room to do it on a quarterly basis. And then you want to get even more specific and break it down by the month. So there you might want to use a day finder. So in the beginning of your day finder, or your day scheduler, you would have down what your goals and objectives are that you want to perform for each one of those months. And then as you go through the month, of course, you'll be recording what you're actually doing, and you'll have it right there in front of you to remind you how you're doing that for the whole year. She said, be real specific. She said, write it down in words, use numbers, use doodles, use symbols, use photographs. Just really get the image in. So, and once you do, you place that image on your altar. And physically speaking, you may have an altar, or you may have a special place. Like you may put it in a special box, or you may put it in a special drawer, or wherever. But you want to put it on your altar, your special place physically. And then you also want to put it on the altar of your heart. So you want to just sit into a meditation and just bring that, everything that you've written down there, bring that into your heart in your meditation. Once you've done that, now it's time to celebrate. Go out, eat, drink, be merry, have fun, dance. Really let your spirit be filled with joy, intense joy. So you have designated both of the goddesses, the authority of Aset and the passionate drive of Nebuchadnezzar. As you have planted your intention into the underworld, that infinite potential. So what happens is there the universe, the Neteru, the ancestors, the elementals, are seeing the intention that you are therefore requesting while in the underworld. And that is where the gift comes from. Because remember, everything that we experience in the world of form comes from the unseen first. So we need that gift to happen. And that's what this winter's New Year's celebration is about. It's about planting your request for the gifts in the underworld. Then, as spring comes, you will see that your gifts, your requests are being honored. As the seeds show up, the gifts show up for you to then plant, for you to then nurture, and for you to harvest and to enjoy into your life. And then as you do that, you review it, you give thanks. And of course, by that time, the sun, Ra, has gone over the horizon and is ready again to set in the west. And you can repeat it. And each time, the cycle gives you a greater and greater expansive divine realization in your physical expression. So that's what I've been doing, and just checking in with you. Wanted to let you know how much I love you and how much I miss you and how much I look forward to being in your presence once again. So until we do touch, be ever wonderful. Namaste, Hotep, and Ashe, beloved.